Welcome, everyone, to the Magnetically Aligned Women event. Walk into your power through self-love, self-worth, and authenticity. Today, I have Christine Michelle. She is a guide, an energy healer, a seer, and a channel who speaks directly to your mind and your soul. She is the founder and CEO of the Aligned Soul by Ana-Hob Personal Development Brand and the author of The Aligned Receiver. She's known as the vibration lifter and energy shifter. Christine is a frequency alchemizer who helps you tune into your own wholeness and welcomes you home to who you truly are. She makes quantum leaps normal, and being rich on all levels of your life gets to be easy. I
Yes.
love that because that is exactly what I stand for. Life gets to be easy when you are exactly who you are. I want to talk about all of the things you do. You utilize gene keys, your human design, quantum physics, NLP, EFT, and so many other tools. But before we even hop in, I just want to thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Nikki. I'm really happy to be here. I'm so happy we connected, and thank you for this beautiful, powerful summit that you put together. It's all information that we all need, right? It's that permission to just be us and allow ourselves to receive just from being us. And so, thank you.
You are very welcome. I'm super excited to dive in. First and foremost, I just want to know your definition of what it means to be like in alignment.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so there's so many discussions about alignment and you need to be aligned and what is alignment, all the things, and no one has a clue, right? And so I love this analogy. This is the analogy that I love to use. Anybody who drives, if you've ever had a car, you've taken your car to get an alignment, right? And so think about when you're driving the car, when you take your hands off of the wheel, the car should just continue straight. It shouldn't veer into the left lane. It shouldn't veer into the right lane. You should be able to take your hands off the car and the car should just drive straight. When you take your hands off the wheel and then the wheel, like the car starts to veer right or left, then you know you need an alignment. And so I love to use that analogy because think about your soul, your mind, and your body. You want your soul, your mind, and your body in alignment, working together, going in the same direction. If your soul, which is always going to be in alignment with your oversoul and your who you truly are, with your source, it knows this, right? And then your body, because of stuck feelings, emotions, different things that are stuck, is feeling a different kind of way. And then your mind, your ego is over here thinking something else, then you're not in alignment. But when you can bring them all into alignment, all working together as one, that's alignment.
Oh, I love that. I love that you mentioned the car too, because I used that analogy one time and I said like, let's say like the three wheels are moving in one direction, but then there's like a flat or it's moving in the opposite direction. Can you imagine trying to move that car forward with that one wheel not functioning?
Exactly. And so it's such a beautiful analogy that, let's say your mind and body are like, you're embodied and you're doing the thing. I mean, your body and your soul, you're like, yeah. And then your mind's over here is like, no, 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 this is not happening. Da, da, da. So your thoughts and your beliefs are like, whoop, 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 right? But you're embodying it and you're doing this. Eventually, your mind will come along, right? You can do some different tools and all of that stuff to bring your mind aboard. But it's important to have it all together working in the same direction so that you can allow yourself to receive. That's what I call manifestation, intentionally receive that which is already available for you.
I love that. Can you also clarify what it means to just like intentionally receive rather than like trying to do or manifest things into your life?
Yes. Okay. So, what I love, okay, manifestation, right? We're manifesting at all times, but sometimes that word in our minds, we think manifestation, I'm going to manifest this, right? I'm manifesting. And so people like think they're doing something in order to get something, right? I'm manifesting the relationship. I'm manifesting business success. And it's kind of like you're piecing together yourself manifesting something. When in actuality, it's you intentionally receiving that which is already available for you. Because when a desire comes from your heart, it's coming from you, a part of you that already is experiencing the feelings, the frequency that you desire, and you think that this specific experience is going to allow you to feel it. And so, if you remember that everything is inevitable, if it's a desire in your heart, it's coming up for you just to receive it. It's inevitable for you to receive it. And what you get to do is just intentionally feel whatever frequency you think is going you're going to get when you get that experience. Then you're not like manifesting anything, you're really just allowing yourself to intentionally receive that which is inevitably going to unfold into your life.
Mm. So it's kind of like when you are effortlessly kind of moving through life, whatever you feel that you are going to attract, it's already there for you. And it's just tuning into your body, like it's just tuning into who you are as a person, right? So sometimes like we get all of this like clouded, like the mind wants to go one direction, our soul is going in another direction. So like how do you kind of like get back to who you are at the core?
Yes. Ooh, so yummy. Okay, so that brings us to like activating that magnetic core and allowing yourself to just receive what is inevitably yours. It's just going to happen, right? And so I love to say there's four ways, like four things that are pillars that are part of this magnetism. It's your purpose, you have your power, you have presence and play. And so, purpose is who you truly are, who you came to this earth to be. And a lot of fun tools that I use to help you align with your purpose and be who you truly are. Because your purpose isn't what you do, it's who you are as you do what you do. And
Mm,
so, your soul came to this earth to experience some things, and as we talked earlier, like the small tools like human design and gene keys can help you further connect to that inner map so that you can see and understand your purpose, like who you are here to be, what frequency like your soul came here to experience. You have that in wrap. So that's the purpose. In addition to that, you have your power, and that's your heart. That's where we're talking about emotional intelligence. That's where we're talking about you allowing yourself to feel everything, which is the language of your body. Feel everything that comes up, and then allowing yourself to be aware of those feelings. And then you get to intentionally align with the feelings or the frequency that you feel like this situation is going to bring to you,
mm,
right? And then from there you get to be present. Presence is it's everything happens in the now moment. And when you can surrender to that now moment, surrender doesn't mean giving up. Surrender means being in that now moment, trusting that universe, God, sugar daddy, I love to call it, whatever you want to call it, is doing whatever it needs to do. And what you get to do is intentionally feel the frequency that you get to feel, take the aligned action as it feels like natural for you, and trust, be in that surrender mode of I'm trusting that this is it. That's enough for you to go off and play. Play is so important because a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to be in that feminine frequency, that being frequency. And when you're in the play frequency, the I'm just going to have some fun, I'm going to sit here and appreciate everything that I have now while you're in that surrender mode, that brings you into that alignment as you magnetize all of these things that your soul is telling you it's time for you to receive.
mm. Wow. I'm just taking a moment to just like soak up all the information. So I know you mentioned one of the first things, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, is you said, there are tools out there to kind of show you the blueprint of who you are. And some of the things you mentioned, gene keys, human design, personality tools, right? Like how does that work? Like how does that function? So like each unique human being, so I believe each person has a unique way of operating, and we are conditioned by like society sometimes to follow other people because we are not aware of who we are, and we're like, and this happened to me, I'm like, there must be something wrong with me because I'm not like everyone else, right? So can you go a little bit deeper into that as to what the gene keys and what the human design is and our
Yes.
own unique being?
Yes, I love that because that is the big thing. It's really about being in this earth and allowing yourself to be who you came here to be, enjoy life, and then you do things in that essence of who you truly are. And so, what I love about like human design and then gene keys, both of these are inner maps. They're like inner maps, inside information for you to learn what your soul came here to experience. So, I love to call use this example like human design or gene keys, both of them remind me of Myers-Briggs. If you've ever taken like a Myers-Briggs test or one of those personality tests of like, what do I do? What do I like? Right? People love those, right? Think about this being for your soul though. So it's based on a lot of different calculations, your birth date, the time of birth, there's some astrology in there, the I Ching, like there's a lot of different things that have come together and that show you that your soul came into your body to experience life in a certain way, to experience energy in a certain way. And when you have that inner knowing of that inner map, and you're like, oh my God, I like to lean back, I love to respond, my soul is coming here to do that. This it will allow you to interact with energy, which everything is energy, and receive with a lot greater ease and flow, which is super super fun.
I love that. I love that. And when you mention flow, it just means like you are operating how you were supposed to, how you were meant to experience. Your soul was meant to experience these human experiences, whatever that may be, based on your design.
Yes. And
Very
it gives you
interesting.
so many relief, right? You're relieved because, like you said, we come into this world and we're raised by parents or grandparents or, whoever raised you. That person did their best. And so they know what they experienced and they know the challenges they experienced. And so, in order to prevent you from experiencing those challenges, they've conditioned you to see things in a certain way, work hard to do this, right? We've been conditioned to do so many things. And so, what Gene Keys and human design allows you to do is to step back and say, well, what feels good for me? Like, if I was a blank slate and I got to choose what feels good for me and tune into my body versus being in my head, which is the way the world was set up, it was very logical and focused on like think, right? We're moving to a more heart centered place. So we're feeling more, we're tuning into our feelings a lot more. We're raising the frequency of the earth. And so it's just a shift in a way of putting your heart first versus your mind. And so when you're like, if I could now come back to my body, come back to who I truly am and say, how would I like to experience things? What would I like? What feels good for me? What feels natural? Then you can start deconditioning some of these things and give yourself permission to operate and experience energy the way your soul came here to do it.
Mm, the biggest thing is permission, because I feel like sometimes we think so much. I'm an overthinker as well, and I used to just like think myself into my own jail cell, and I'm like, I can't do that because they said I can't do it, or society, or no one else has done it before, and I just don't want to seem like a crazy person.
Well, that's interesting because when we were talking about your chart, you're a 6-2 profile. I'm a 4-6 profile. People that have the 6 in their profile, they are so much further ahead of their time. They are meant to like bring in information into this world in a visionary way. So it's going to be doing things and thinking about things that no one else has even thought about before or seen before. And so as you are like, well, I can't say that or I can't do that, you would be boxing yourself and not letting yourself have this amazing vision and not allow yourself to bring in this information as you have lived all of the lifetime. So you can really be that guide to someone who is experiencing something that you energetically have already experienced, and you are going to be able to connect them to their soul so they'll know the solution that's best for them.
Mhm.
So do you see how like conditioning can put you in that box, and
Yeah.
you're not even allowing yourself to tap into these amazing gifts and inner knowledge, inner understanding, and all this understanding that you would just have access to just because.
Oh my goodness, I love that. And something else that like recently I've really stepped into was being in the emotion, which was that second pillar that you mentioned, right? So
Yes.
how does the emotional aspect play into this? Because if we're shifting from the logical aspect of always doing and thinking into the body, how does the emotions play into that?
So good. Okay. So first, I have this formula. It's called PEV, personal energetic vibration. And it's made up of what? Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, but thoughts, beliefs, feelings, emotions, intentions, decisions, and actions. And so I always say, like, when you can align your definitely your emotions and your feelings with those of your next level you, or whoever that is, the person, the you that's experiencing whatever you want to experience, that's when you bring it in alignment. Now, one big thing that's taught in normal, like law of attraction circles and all of that, it's like think positive, feel positive, and that's it. That is not the holistic way we're meant to live. We came to this earth to feel all the feelings. And if we just realize that feelings is only information, emotion is energy in motion. And when you stop yourself from feeling angry or stop yourself from feeling sad, you stick that information in your body and it doesn't go anywhere, it just stays in you. And so that's where a lot of illness and disease, that's where it comes from, because you have these feelings, and well, they're emotions that are stuck in your body because you didn't just allow yourself to feel them and it let it flow through. And so, what's important is that you, one, become aware of your feelings and no longer try to say, I'm okay, I'm okay. Women do that all the time, men do too sometimes. But when women are like, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, knowing that they're like tortured, or knowing that they're truly upset, and it's because feelings have been told that they're weak. Expressing emotion is erratic, or they called women lunatics. They called us all kinds of things that would say, oh, she's a heretic, or she's like crazy, and she's like, oh, the get her, send her over to the crazy house. And so from there
Dramatic.
we learn that it's must be logical. So if we're not thinking with our head and we're feeling things, then we must shut that down.
I want to touch on that too, because I recently found out through the human design that around 50% of the population is emotional beings. Like we are emotionally defined. I am emotionally defined as well. And I was just like, this makes a lot of sense. Why sometimes I would watch cartoon Pixar movies and cry my eyeballs out. I would go online and watch like dogs reunited with veteran families and cry my eyeballs out, and out of the blue be crying about all these things. And sometimes people think that's insane, right? Like,
That
oh,
something's
she's too
wrong.
dramatic, she's too emotional. And I wouldn't even understand that. And I feel like a lot of women don't understand the emotions that they're feeling. And we kind of just like box it away. But
Mhm.
you're saying if we allow ourselves to express these emotions and we allow ourselves to feel these emotions, it's it's no longer an energy block that we're holding on to. And
Yes.
what happens if we hold on to that? Like what?
Oh, so good. Okay, so what first I want to say, I love the fact that I'm an open emotional center. So
Mhm.
I'm normally in that calm space, but I do feel happiness and sadness. I do get upset, right? So anyone that has an open emotional center, not only you're a natural empath, so you accentuate those with defined emotional centers, you accentuate their feelings, and sometimes you'll feel like this is you when it's really you accentuating the wave or whatever that the emotional being is experiencing. So remember that. I but what you I love what you also said about allowing yourself to just feel whatever is coming, right? So whatever wave you're on, if you're a defined emotional person, or whatever you're feeling if you're undefined, when you allow yourself to just feel, and don't let that energy get stuck in your body, it dissipates because you're allowing yourself to just feel and take in whatever information it's asking you to take in. And so, for example, let's say you were starting a business and it's going to be, successful, but then you have a panic about money.
Mm.
Instead of stopping it, like let's say you say, oh, no, 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 la, 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 it's going to be great. I'm going to have an amazing thing. Right. And you're like, don't worry about it. And so you don't let yourself truly feel it. It gets stuck there. And then you probably don't have a great launch or whatever because you haven't let yourself feel it, or it's not as good as it could have been. Then it'll come back up. You'll need another situation will allow that emotion to come back up so that it's meant to be felt. You can allow it to be felt through, and then it'll go through. But then you stop it again and it'll keep building and building and building, and it can cause illness in the body, or you'll just blow up for no reason and it won't make sense. So like you'll keep allowing, like stuffing those energies down, stuffing those feelings down, stuff. Okay. So, what is key for you and for manifesting, receiving, intentionally receiving what you desire is that you allow yourself and acknowledge whatever feeling is coming there. I like to use the analogy of, let's say you're walking, and like I told you, if it's a desire that's coming in from your heart, it's inevitable. And so you have this, let's call it a path. Like, that Michael Jackson video where he's stepping in the path that's lighting up as he's going?
Oh, okay.
Imagine that video. So that's the path. That's how you're receiving the house. That's how you're finding out what you get to do, next steps, and all that stuff. And so you're on this path, you're walking along the path, and they're little boulders. Those are the feelings and emotions that pop up that are there because of maybe different beliefs, different limitations that you're allowing yourself to think that that's the way it is. And so, you don't have to go digging for them. Trust me, when you're tuning in and being your next level self, whatever is not in alignment with that will pop up. And so you're walking and you're like, I'm amazing and I get to have this amazing business and this is just the way it gets to be. And so you're walking along the path and boom, here comes a little boulder. And you're like, oh, that's the emotion. You let yourself feel that. Don't put it down. Say, oh, there's a part of me that doesn't think that this is possible. There's a part of me that's scared. There's a part of me that feels this, and this, and this, and this. And whatever that is, let yourself feel it. Because as you let yourself feel it and say, I'm safe and it's okay. It's okay for me to feel that. You are healing the inner child, the part of you that feels like you're not good enough. You're allowing yourself to heal. And when you allow yourself to heal, you create space for you to receive. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that was so easy. And I get to receive and I receive that. And so when we're saying to you guys that this gets to be easy, this is not saying you're not going to go through emotional waves. You're not going to experience things, because everything you're going to continue to experience that. But this is the easy way that you get to allow yourself to experience those feelings and heal. And then each time you do it, you're going to keep going and the boulders will get smaller, right? It's instead of needing the train to hit you to say, oh, let me tune in and feel and allow my body to experience this, you'll get the little taps on your shoulder. And that's why it feels like it gets easier and easier. Does that make sense?
It does. And I want to touch on that with a little story, a personal story, because I know for a fact that a lot of people are terrified of their taxes. Like they just don't want to do it. It's
Yes.
annoying. You don't want to look at your finances. And I think that's like, that is a very conditioned belief, like these fears around money and having to pay taxes and all of these things. So recently I used to do my taxes by myself, and I was just like, I do not want to do my taxes whatsoever, and I just want to hand it off to somebody, right? But even doing that, I'm such a control freak that I don't want to hand off my taxes to other people. And so I had to sit with that for like a week of just like this uncomfortable, like, oh, should I do my taxes myself? Oh, should I send it off to somebody else? And so I allowed myself to kind of receive in that moment, because I had asked my friend, how do you do your taxes? And he recommended me somebody. And I was like, great, like a recommendation. And so I reached out to this person and he was fabulous. fabulous. Let me crunch the numbers. Let me see how I can save you money. And I was like, this is awesome, right? Like all this fear around my taxes just like dissipated. But I had to sit with that for a
Yeah.
very long time.
And you opened space for you to receive something to respond to, which was your friend. And you're like, huh, how do you do your taxes? But if you would have just said, oh, no, no, it's fine. It's fine. Taxes are okay. I'm just going to push through. I'm just going to do this. Then guess what? You would have pushed through, been unhappy, did with your taxes, and then you wouldn't have been able to receive this amazing opportunity to work with someone who this is their joy. Like this
Mm.
is their joy to do your taxes. That's what they live for. And you would have not been able to give this man the his joy.
I love how you put that. It's crazy to me. Like, we each have our individual joys. And for this person, that's their purpose. That's their joy,
Yes.
serving other people, doing their taxes, saving people money.
Yes.
Yes, take my taxes. Thank you.
And that opens up you. Now you received, and then also it opened up space for you to do something else because you would have been spending the last week and a half like working on taxes, and you would have been angry and upset, and you wouldn't be able to do these wonderful interviews.
Mm, yes. Thank you. And diving into the last pillar that you shared was like being in the moment. Like,
Mhm.
why is it so important to be in the moment?
Because everything happens in the now. I love this mantra. I always say is I surrender, I allow, I know everything is happening now.
Mm,
Everything happens for me because everything is happening in this now moment. And you allowing yourself to be in the now moment is where your power is. Manifestation happens in the now moment. You
mm,
receiving happens in the now moment. The feelings that you're feeling happen in the now moment. When you are thinking about the past, it's happening in the now moment. When you're focusing on the future, it's happening in the now moment. It's not that you went to the past. Nope, you're thinking about it now. And so when you can be present and be acceptance is one of my gifts. It's one of my life's work. And it's all about allowing or helping others to accept where you are. When you can accept where you are, you release all tons of resistance because you're not pushing to get somewhere else. You're like, okay, this is where I am. And there's no changing that from the past frequency that I was in. That opens you up to receive the things that you desire. But when you're holding on and trying to push against, and I'm not going to look at my financial statements, I don't want to know, I don't want to know, you're keeping yourself there in this now moment. When you can accept and be in this now moment and say, you know what happened happened. Now what do I want? That is where your power is.
mm. I love that. Being in the now moment, and something you touched upon so frequently as we went throughout this interview is that space of safety, right? Everything is allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be aware, allowing yourself to be in the present moment, but it's creating that like space of safety, which I think is very important because when we're stuck in fear, we don't move. And then when we think about it more and more and make it more grandiose about this problem, we don't move.
Yeah.
We're so in fear that we don't move. I want to tie
Yes.
this all together into like what you do, which is like you want to make quantum leaps seem normal. Like, what does that even mean? And how does that show up for certain people?
Yes. So, for example, I've had many clients that have gone on and have had six-figure days, six-figure months. And it's because they tuned into the frequency of being that person in their now moment, making choices and decisions from that energy. And so it gets to be so like, this is who I am, that when the results come, the byproducts, the manifestations unfold, it's like, of course they do, because they already feel like they're already there, right?
Mhm.
Because that's who they're being. And so that's what I mean. It's like when you embody who you desire to be, you embody that frequency right now, then it's going to unfold because it's inevitable. And when it does, it won't be something that you've put on this pedestal, because it's not a pedestal. It's who you already are, because you don't need those byproducts in order to be the multi-million dollar brand owner, right?
Mm.
You get to be the multi-million dollar brand owner with a van that's not making any money right now. You get to make choices and decisions and hold your head up high and have the frequency of that brand owner without needing the evidence that that's already existed. And so when it comes, it's normal for you. It's your life. And then it unfolds and you collapse time, and it happens so quickly. And so that's what it means when quantum leaps are hashtag normal for you, because you've tuned into that frequency so much that you don't even realize when it unfolds, because you're like, well, of course that's just my life.
I absolutely, absolutely believe that 100%, because it's that kind of thought process where, like, if you're sitting in lack, all you're going to receive is lack, because
Yeah.
you're just, the world around you is just going to prove to you that you, like, you're saying you're lacking this, you're lacking this. So the world is always going to show you, yes, you're right, you are lacking this. But if you believe that you truly, like, you're already embodied in this, you deserve this, this is what normal life looks like, then reality will show you you are absolutely correct, and everything you receive from then on is going to prove to you that, yes, I deserve a nice car, or yes, wherever my income is coming next, I receive income effortlessly. Right.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. I love it. I have a quick example, a quick story about that. I was doing this, but I always was also was a corporate executive, right? So I was a corporate executive, and I was just having fire drills, and I had a team, and I was working a lot. So it felt like I was working hundreds of hours a week, and it was exhausting. And so one weekend I was like, I just want to feel ease. Like I just want to feel ease. And so I decided that I was going to set an alarm on my phone, and I was going to tune in and feel ease. And
Mm.
so what I did was every hour on the hour, I stopped, and for a minute or two, I would just feel ease. And I said, time abundance. I have more than enough time. And I would just tune into that frequency in that moment. And in that moment, guess what? I was feeling ease and I was feeling time abundance. Then when that moment was over, I'd go back to the drama, go back to the thousands of emails, go back to like the inbox that was crazy and all of the calls that were fire drills. And so I continued to do that day after day after day. And it became Friday, so those 5 days. And when my boss at the time, Jason, he came and he's like, Christine, oh, Christine, I got something to tell you. I was like, what? Oh my goodness. It's like, God, sugar daddy, universe, I did not want to get fired or laid off. What are you talking about? This is too quick, right? I wasn't ready to go full time in my business yet. And so he comes and he's like, Christine, I can't believe we did this. And I was like, what? And he's like, you're supposed to have 3 weeks of vacation. Everybody that reports into you has 3 weeks. You were supposed to have 3 weeks. You only have two. Here's 5 extra days of vacation. And I was like,
What?
time abundance. Okay, this is working. I wasn't feeling ease yet. Like there were still a lot of calls yet, but I was like, this is working. I've just manifested 5 extra days vacation. That's time abundance, right?
Mm.
Because I said I had so much free time. That's how I would say it. I was like, ease, right? So then the next week, I was like, I'm doing this. So I kept doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday comes. I'm packing up. I finally realized that I was packing up. And it was like 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, I'm leaving at 5 o'clock. I looked at my emails, were all filed away, and I hadn't gotten a crazy phone call. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. Let me call my team. So I called Tony first. He's in San Antonio. And Tony's like, yeah, what's up, boss? What's up? I said, how are you? I haven't heard from you. Is everything going okay? And he was like, it's great, boss. I was like, well, what about this question and this problem, all the things that were on my list that he needed fixed? And he was like, it just fixed themselves. He's like, it's all right. He's like, it's 4:30 here or 4 o'clock or something. Like, he's like, I'm leaving in an hour. And I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, it's been good. I was like, okay. Okay, so then I called the other parts of my team. They're in Canada. It's 4 ladies. They were in Canada. So I called them and they're like, hey, we're packing up right now. They're in Toronto. And I was like, but what about this, and this? And they were like, everything's working out there. Like, it feels so easy. I'm so happy we're going home. They were like, this week has been the easiest week ever. So I was like, okay. So I hang up. So then I called my sister. I was like, Kim, I'm packing up. Do you realize I'm going home again early? And she's like, yes, you've been coming home at 5 Monday and Tuesday too. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, I didn't even realize it because I was too busy feeling ease for the last couple of hours that I was already experiencing ease. I had collapsed time and quantum shifted my reality to where I was experiencing ease and my entire team started experiencing ease. So because I shifted my universe, their universe shifted too. And I didn't wait until ease was there to say, "Oh, it feels easy." I allowed myself to choose those tiny minutes, a couple of minutes a day, to say,
Mhm.
I get to feel ease. And then ease reflected itself back to me. That's how powerful you are.
That is absolutely incredible. I just want to respond to that and touch upon that because, like, I have practiced with this ease because I used to wake up with anxiety every morning and all this fear. And I said, I just want life to be easy. And so I would take like a brief moment in the morning before I start my day to just say to myself, like, okay, today is going to be easy, right? And even though so many things were coming my way, I refused to let it be hard. I said, this is easy. This is not a problem. And I just did it. And the more I did that, the more it felt easy. Like everything was coming together super, super quick. Whereas before, I would feel resistance. It would take me like forever to complete the task. And even now, like I also said, I receive abundance. I'm always taken care of. And mind you, I just recently had my baby shower and like I got everything on my list. Like everyone just bought everything off my list. And I was just like, what is this? What is this? What is happening right now? And then all of a sudden, the stocks, well, my stocks were dropping, mind you, but it's okay. It's okay. Like I believe that it's going to be just fine. But my husband just cashed out on like $15,000 on his bitcoins, right? And I was just
You're
like,
like, woohoo.
yes, like everybody around me is expanding, and it's like you see it happening for yourself, and then you see it happening for other people, which is
Yeah.
incredible. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. Now, as we are wrapping up today, I know you have a freebie to share with everyone. Can you share that with us?
Yes. So it's called Limitless. So what I do, like I said, you said earlier, I'm a frequency alchemizer. And so when you listen to my voice, you can feel yourself rising to the frequency of what is possible. That is just something that I naturally do. I'm sure you felt it during this call. There's a, like I lift you up, right? And so what I did was I created these frequency alchemy audios, and I have a free one. It's called Limitless, and it lifts you up to this feeling of feeling limitless, limitless in your life, limitless in what you get to experience. And it's only 2 minutes. And so it's similar to how I tuned into ease. You could play this. Tune into feeling limitless and allow yourself to embody the frequency of limitlessness and experience limitlessness in your life where you feel like it's unlimited the possibilities and I am limitless everything that I get to experience. And I absolutely love it. It's tuned to music, and then underneath there's a light coding frequency so that as you listen, you just press play, feel limitless, and then you can tune your timer on and then press play and feel limitless again, and just really tune in and allow yourself to start seeing this limitlessness flowing into your life and you actually embodying that frequency. And so that's super fun. And so we will send that to you and you get to play. Remember, the last key, the last pillar of you magnetically attracting things to you with such ease is you playing. We forget this. We've turned into adults and we adulting and we forget to imagine and have fun and play. What is your adult way to play? That's everyone's homework. What would be more fun? How do I get to play today? And just play in your adult way. And for me, like it could be a conversation with a friend. It could be us watching Made in Chelsea and like chit chatting and watching them. It could be something so simple that your adult is just so excited about playing. And remember to bring that frequency in every day, because that is you leaning into receiving, because you know that you're taken care of, and you're trusting that that doing energy is taking care of the things that need to be taken care of.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Christine, for sharing that with us and for being here with us today. I had an amazing time. I know for a fact the audience is super excited. And for everybody watching, as you know, like I always put the link below the video. And yes, I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.